All right, hi guys, doing? We're gonna hop into the reading of Exodus 38 and 39. We're getting straight into it. And he made of the altar a burnt offering of shittim wood. 5 cubits was the length, 5 cubits was the breadth. It was 4 square, and 3 cubits was the height thereof. And he made the horns thereof of 4 corners about it. And the horns thereof were the same, and he overlaid it with brass. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the pots, the shovels, the basins, the flesh hooks, the fire pans, and all the vessels thereof he made of brass. And he made for an altar a brazen gate of network under the compass thereof beneath the midst of it. And he cast 4 rings in the 4 ends of the gate of brass to be places for the staves. And he made the staves of shittim wood and overlaid them with brass. And he put the staves into the rings on the side of the altar to bear it withal. And he made the altar hollow with boards. And he made the lever of brass and the foot of it brass, and the looking glass of the women assembling, which assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he made the court on the south side southward. Hangings of the court were fine twined linen in 100 cubits, and their pillars were 20, and their brazen sockets 20, and the hooks and the pillars of the fillets were of silver. And for the north side, the hangings were 100 cubits, the pillars were 20, and the sockets of brass 20, the hooks and the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the west side were the hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, their sockets 10, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And the east side, eastward 50 cubits, and the hangings on one side of the gate was 15 cubits, and the pillars 3, and their sockets 3. For the other side of the court gate, on this hand and on that hand, were the hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And the hangings of the court round about were fine twined linen, and the sockets for the pillars were of brass. The hooks of the pillars and the fillets were silver. The overlaying of their capiters was silver, and the pillars of the court were filleted with silver. And the hanging gate of the court was needlework of blue, purple, scarlet, fine twined linen. 20 cubits was the length. The height of the breadth was 5 cubits, answerable to the hangings of the court. And the pillars were for their sockets of brass, for their hooks of silver, their overlaying chapters, and their fillets of silver. And all the pins of the tabernacle and of the court round about were brass. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of testimony, as it was counted according to the commandment of Moses for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son to Aaron the priest. And Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hor, of the tribe of Judah, made all that the Lord commanded Moses. And with him was Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver, a cunning workman, and an embroiderer in blue, purple, and in scarlet, and fine linen. And the gold that occupied for all the work in the work of the holy place, even the gold of the offering, was 20 and 9 talents, and 730 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver then was numbered of the congregation was 100 talents, and 1,703 score and 15 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. A bekah for every man, that is a half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary, for everyone that went to be numbered from 20 years old and upward, for 600,000 and 300 and 550 men. And the hundreds of talents of silver were cast the sockets of the sanctuary and the sockets of the veil, and 100 sockets at 100 talents, and a talent for a socket. And of the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the pillars, and he overlaid their chapters and filleted them. And the brass of the offering was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. And therewith he made the sockets of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the brazen altar, and the brazen gate for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and the sockets of the court round about, and the sockets of the court gates, and all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. And then we go on to chapter 39. And of the blue and the purple and the scarlet they made cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron as the Lord commanded Moses. He made the ephod of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen. And they did beat the gold into thin plates, and cut it into wires, and work it into the blue, and into the purple, and into the scarlet, and the fine linen with cunning work. They made shoulder pieces for it to couple it together. By 2 edges was it coupled together. A curious girdle of his ephod that was upon it was of the same, according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they wrought onyx stones enclosed in ouches of gold, graven as signets were graven with the names of the children of Israel. He put them on the shoulders of the ephod, and that they should be stones for a memorial to the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses. He made the breastplate of cunning work, like the work of ephod, of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen. It was 4 square. They made the breastplate doubled, a span of the length thereof, and span of breadth thereof, being doubled. And they set in it 4 rows of stones. The first row was sardius, a topaz, a carbuncle was the first row. The second row an emerald, sapphire, and diamond. Third row a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row was a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper, and they were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosings. And the stones were according to the name of Israel, 12 according to to the names, like the engravings of the signet, every one with its frame, according to the 12 tribes. And they made it upon the breastplates chains at the ends of wreathen work of pure gold, and they made 2 ouches of gold and 2 rings, and put the 2 rings at the ends of the breastplate, and they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings at the ends of the breastplate, and the 2 ends of the wreathen chains they fastened in 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And they made 2 rings of gold, put them on 2 ends of the breastplate upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. And they made 2 other golden rings, and put them on the sides of the ephod underneath, toward the fore part of it, over against the coupling thereof, against above the curious golder of the ephod. And they did bind the breastplate by his rings unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and the breastplate might not be loose from the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue. And there was a hole in the midst of the robe, and the hole was of a habergeon, and was a band round about the hole, that it should not rend. And they made the hems of the robes of pomegranates of blue, purple, scarlet, and twined linen, made the bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe round about between the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate round about the hem of the robe, to minister in, as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made coats of fine linen of woven work for Aaron and his sons, and a mitre of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine twined linen, and a girdle of fine twined linen of blue, purple, scarlet, of needlework, and as the Lord commanded Moses. And they made the plate of a holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it as a writing, like to the engravings of a signet, holiness to the Lord. And they tied unto it a lace of blue, to fasten it on high on the mitre, and the Lord commanded Moses. Thus was all the work of the tabernacle, the tent of the congregation finished, and the children of Israel did according to that the Lord commanded Moses, so did they. And they brought the tabernacle unto Moses, the tent and all the furniture, the taches, the boards, the bars, the pillars, and the sockets, and the coverings of ram skin dyed red, and the covering of badger skins, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the testimony, the staves thereof, the mercy seat, the table, and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread, the candlestick, the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for the light, and the golden altar, the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle door, the brazen altar, his gate of brass, his staves, all his vessels, the laver and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars, his sockets, and all the hangings for the court gate, his cords and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle for the tent of the congregation, the cloths of service to do service in the holy places, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest and his sons, garments to minister in the priest's office, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses. So the children of Israel made all the work. And Moses did look upon all the work, and behold, they had done it as the Lord commanded, so even they had done, and Moses blessed them. And that'll be all. Hope you guys have yourself a great rest of your day. Peace.